they're just ugly. Like insects, they're gross looking.
So like you see Charlotte's Web, and you're getting the spider spray.
Yeah, I'm getting the vacuum, the spider vac.
You're gonna vacuum Charlotte's Web.
Yep.
That's kind of mean.
Yeah. She's over there like writing words or something, bro. Like, get out. Go do that somewhere else.
Like, why the fuck are you doing this here?
Yeah, seriously.
Welcome back to another episode of the Star 67 podcast. It's your one and your only host, Wingard Window. We money.
Window.
Winnie.
Open window.
The other voice you hear is the other boy, Trez, aka T Money, T Grizzly, T Pain. Not to be confused with the artist T Pain, but it's a different type of T in Pain.
there's literally a T Pain and a T Grizzly in both rappers.
But they're still different. It's like I'm saying TEA Pain. You know.
Oh, I see.
It's the T because you're so sophisticated. You know what I'm saying? And
that's clever.
In T Grizzly, it's like TEE Grizzly, not basic T. Right. Like we know how to spell up this bitch.
I see that you have some experience from your rapping career. I'm not there. So.
Right, I'm poetical with this shit.
Right, that's a different plane of thinking.
We're back again with another episode of Star 67 Podcast. Today we're talking about fear. This is like our 20th time trying to record this episode. I'm eating some applesauce. Again, don't know why I keep wanting to bring that up. But
yeah, that is like the second or third time you brought that up.
I'm eating applesauce. It's an important detail.
Hey man, the people gotta know.
Mm-hmm. Where do we even start at this point?
Oh man, well we're gonna be covering a lot of topics that we've already covered too because the other episodes are getting deleted as well.
Yeah. But kick us off. Why does it kick us off? Why do you want to kick us? Well, I guess it's a football term.
We could punch it off.
No, I think I like kick it off.
All right, let's kick it off. Your biggest fears.
Biggest fears.
Yeah.
I have a fear of being mundane. Like imagine walking through your life and just like living the office type of life, where it's just like rinse, dry, repeat. Right.
I mean, some people are kind of built for that lifestyle, you know, but you don't strike me as the type.
Oh no, dude. No. I'm no Dwight Schrute. Well, Dwight Schrute was an interesting guy. Don't get me wrong, but like,
who?
No, not I. I don't bode well with that.
You said the White Schrute?
The White Schrute.
Who's that?
You never watched The Office?
No, I didn't.
Well, thank you guys for visiting us.
I can feel people typing on their keyboards the hate comments right now.
You just got shadow banned.
Yeah.
No, it's like I just got my schedule for next month, and I'm off 16 days, and I was already complaining.
Really?
I was like, what the fuck is this, 16 days?
Yeah. Pilot life, dude.
I know, it's horrible. Hate it.
Yeah. But what is it that scares you about that sort of mundane lifestyle? Is it just like the lack of excitement?
The lack of excitement, whenever I picture someone living like a 9-to-5 job, I don't picture them smiling. I picture them kind of just like, you got to keep up with the Joneses. There's like office politics that you have to deal with. I just could not imagine myself having to sit.
Oh yeah, the office drama. I didn't even think about that.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a person in the cubicle next to you who you don't really like. You don't like the way that he taps his pen on the desk.
Yeah.
When you're trying to work.
And it's like,
you know, every day, every morning, you got to come in and say, "Hey, Steve, how you doing?"
Right? You don't give a fuck about Steve.
You don't have a grudge against him.
It's like high school again.
You don't give a fuck about Steve.
You don't give a fuck about Steve. Amy? No, it's like, no, fuck you, Amy. Stop talking to me. I would hate that.
Yeah.
I would hate. I guess. I don't know. I like being in front of people and talking to people.
Mm-hmm.
So like mundane shit like that, nah.
Yeah, I feel that.
I went to the DMV, like the other week, probably like 2-3 weeks ago, and this girl. I get that it's in DMV, and the DMV is naturally like an unhappy. No one smiles in the DMV.
Right.
DMV looks dirty, grimy. You don't want to sit in the chair.
Yeah, you could at least put some colors in there or
Right,
something. Man.
right. It's a bunch.
It's like you're getting ready to go to prison.
It's a bunch of fucking posters. It's a bunch to teach you about safe driving. No one's reading that shit.
There's a vibe in the DMV.
Mm-hmm. But this girl, I was like, I'd never wrote a check before. I'd probably written like 5 checks. And this girl, she was like, you have to write the check. And I was like, how do I write a check? She's like, you have to, if you don't know how to write a check, you need to get in the back of the line. And I'm like, just tell me how to write a check, and I'll write it. What do you need? She's like, go in the back of the line. I'm like, no, I'm not going in the back of the line. Just tell me how to do it. And then she started yelling at me, and I'm like, listen, I'm not leaving.
There's literally nothing worse at the DMV than being sent to the back of the line.
Oh my god.
That's everyone's worst fear.
Mm-hmm.
You're sitting there, you got to sit in the chair, you're waiting, right? And then you finally get the chance to get in line. You get in line, and then they send you to the back of the line. Like, you know how much effort it took me to come here in the first place?
You know how much work it took me, and then like with the DMV, you have to choose the time of day that you want to go, because you want to go early in the morning because there's no line. You can't go after work because like that line is going to be busting.
Yeah, bumping, bro. They're having a party in that line.
They're having a cookout and everything. Scared.
Kitchen tents.
I'm kind of like a free. If they take away my free spiritedness of doing what I want, when I want, and how I want to do it, it's like a heart attack in the making.
Yeah, I feel that 100%, even working retail now, and I'm telling all my coworkers and all my friends, I'm really trying to escape retail, because that job is so soul-sucking for me, man. I feel like it just takes away a lot of expression, and just some of the things that they ask you to do. I mean, I get it from a business perspective, they're trying to make money, obviously, but from the human perspective, it's like you have to kind of treat people as a walking dollar sign, rather than as a person. You know, you're just trying to get something out of them, and it dehumanizes them in a way that I absolutely despise.
That's why you should start serving, dude. Make your way to the restaurant. Get some free food in your system.
Yeah, I got that one brewing in my mind. You've definitely planted that seed.
When I was working at the Olive Garden, man, I was never hungry. Never hungry. A lot of breadsticks.
You stealing breadsticks?
Bro, a lot of breadsticks, a lot of salads. We had these $5 take-home meals that we gave that were in the freezer, and I just so happened to have a couple customers that wanted a $5 take-home, and I was a customer. I don't make the rules, it's just how it works out.
Yeah. I remember when it comes to biggest fears, back in 2019, I was talking to someone and they sent me this photo, and it was called the Jars of Fears. I don't know if I ever threw that one in the group chat or not.
No.
But so it's a photo, and there's these little jars in the photo, and each one has a little fear under it, and you're supposed to take it, go into the drawing tool, and then draw in how much you feel that thing scares you. So one is like spiders, one is holes, one is abandonment, one is drowning, and then you take like a color and then fill it in. So if you're really scared of it, you'll fill the jar up with the color. If you're kind of scared of it, fill it up halfway. If you're not really scared of it, maybe just do a little scribble, that kind of thing. And there were 3, this is back in 2019, so there were 3 that I had on there that kind of really scared me. Darkness, abandonment, and losing a loved one were the 3 that had the most filling in there, which, again, this was 4 years ago, so it's kind of changed, and I'll get a little bit more into what my current fears are, but yeah, I feel like, you know, looking back on that, losing a loved one is definitely something that I because I've never really lost a close loved one, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, and I know it's coming, but I don't know how I'm gonna react to it. That still kind of scares me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, I feel you on that loved one too, and I also vaguely remember you that jar of fear thing. It might have been in like the Snapchat since we just all got iPhones.
Yeah.
But it might have been in the Snapchat group chat, but I do vaguely remember it. What are your current fears now?
I listed 3. There's one that I really want to get into. Insanity, mass shootings, and insects. Those are the current 3.
All right, let's talk about insanity. Explain your insanity. Are you insane in the membrane?
Actually, probably, yeah. And I know you and I have talked about this a little bit too, but I don't think that insane people know that they're insane. I think they feel sane, but from the outside looking in, people can classify them as insane, which is kind of scary because, we're all vulnerable to, going off in the deep end. But I think it happens slowly. I don't think sometimes it could happen, with one motion, but sometimes it's just it'll build up, and then before you know it, you're this person that everyone let's use him as an example, Donald Trump.
My boy DT, shout out to DT.
Yeah, the Trump master. But he didn't just wake up and be that person one day. He just slowly became that person where you either love him or you hate him. And a lot of people would definitely call Donald Trump a little insane or narcissistic or
Why does that
however you
scare
classify him.
Why does this scare you? Why is that a fear?
Maybe it comes from a little bit of my background where there's a lot of elements in my background where that's a possibility to have some sort of psychotic break or something like that, and I'm scared that there might be that triggering event for me.
That you turn out to be a psychopath in the making?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think psychopath necessarily, but just it's very hard to see outside of my own way. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm going in the wrong direction. Like maybe was it you that told me that the road to evil is paved with good intentions?
The road to the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Yeah.
Exactly. So I feel like I'm going in the right direction, but eventually it could spiral into a point where when I'm 40 or 50, maybe not so much, and I'm still trying to continue with this idea that I have from my past, and people are trying to talk me out of it. Kind of like Kanye, that kind of stuff. That it scares me. I can't say that it's going to happen, but it's on.
So you just compared your mental state to Kanye's mental state. Is that what you wanted to do?
There's similarities, but not. I'm not advocating for what Kanye is advocating for in the moment.
Okay. All right. I thank you for sharing that. I never found you to be an insane person. I kind of think that everyone is a little bit insane and crazy to some to some point.
Yeah. I'll also add in, it's not always a bad thing because it definitely adds character.
I don't think it's. Again, I think everyone's crazy at some point.
Yeah.
Everyone's insane, crazy. Everyone thinks they're right. Everyone's the most important person in everyone's world is themselves. And if you try to live your life by society's standards, you could be considered insane. But if you just live your life how you want to live it, I think it's whatever.
Good point. Yeah, good point.
What was the next one? So you were insanity, mass shootings.
Yeah, that's the one that I really want to dive into because
go back
I think
to that one. What was the last one?
Insects?
Why insects?
They just creep me the fuck out.
I remember you were when we were in the cabin. You said that you were afraid of spiders.
I hate spiders. There was a huge ass spider. It in my room the other day.
So are we talking you're afraid of Spider-Man and Ant-Man if they were real?
Sorry, afraid of what?
Spider-Man and Ant-Man.
No, they seem cool.
They-
I just don't. They're just ugly, like insects. They're gross looking.
So like you see Charlotte's Web and you're getting the spider spray.
Yeah, I'm getting the vacuum, the spider vac.
You're gonna vacuum Charlotte's Web.
Yep.
That's kind of mean.
Yeah. She's over there like writing words or something, bro. Like, get out. Go do that somewhere else.
Like, why the fuck you doing this here?
Yeah, seriously.
All right, mass shootings. Let's get into it.
Yeah, that one is probably the biggest fear out of all three, to be honest, because it's really just happening out of nowhere, and it's some sort of phenomenon that's happening in this generation that, it's happening too often.
Mm-hmm.
Way too often.
Where it's getting normalized. Like, oh, another one.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's like, literally, what was it, a month ago, we had a person walk into an elementary school and shoot children, and that's not the first time that's happened.
Mm-hmm.
It's happened several times before that.
Welcome to America. I'm going to Amsterdam tomorrow, and I'm going to feel safe.
Yeah, I said it too, I swear, man.
Remember? Chris Rock had the skit, the gun control skit.
Remind me.
So he was saying how he was walking into an elevator and there's two white people on the elevator and he got the fuck off. He was like, "You aren't gonna kill me today," and he was saying how he was saying how like back in his day, crazy people were in a place at the other end of the school. They got let out 30 minutes earlier, and they rode a special bus taking them to their crazy people house.
Oh my god.
And then he was like, everyone wants to blame the music and the games, but no one wants to blame the parents. Like, what are these parents doing that make their kids want to shoot up a school?
Yeah, he's spitting.
And then he was like, he was like, you have kids going to a white school, and he's like, I want to go to a black school where I feel safe. And then he went on saying how he does not promote gun control because he likes guns. He's like, I like guns.
Mm-hmm.
But he wants bullet control. And he thinks that every bullet should cost $5,000. So that when you see someone get shot on the street, you know they did something.
Maybe he's onto something.
Because he was like, that dude, they just put $20,000 worth of lead in him. That's what he said. he did something.
Yeah. At least they'd be counting the shots at that point, It's like, do I really want to...
He was saying how he was, like someone steps on your shoes or something. He's like, man, I'm going to go get a second job, work some extra hours, and hopefully get some bulls on layaway. But when I do, I'm going to bust your ass. Oh. Who?
Yeah, facts.
Who?
Yeah, I don't... When it comes to this, like, I don't really know... I feel like it's such a combination of different factors when it comes to, like, mental health and gun control and bullet control. All that. I don't know. I really just hope that it stops at some point.
Yeah, I mean, like, it would be insane to say let's keep it going. What I don't like is how like but I really don't like how it's like normalized at this point, and like they're making movies about school shootings.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's pretty stupid. But America loves their guns. Yeah, America loves their guns. So, what are you gonna do? What can we do?
What can we do?
What can we do? What can we do to solve this issue?
Yeah. What about you? Was there anything that you wanted to bring up about fear?
Like
what triggered this choice in topic?
I honestly forgot what triggered it. I think I was like listening to a podcast. One of my biggest fears is, it's like the censorship. I'm very afraid of censorship. You know how like did we talk about the social credit score of China?
Yeah, we briefly talked about it.
But like America or like Europe is slowly implementing a social credit score, and like
Hmm.
stuff like that scares me.
What is it that scares you
The
about it?
the fact that the government can tell me what I can and cannot buy with my money,
Mm-hmm.
and then I have to work harder to please the
Mm-hmm.
government.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was listening to that podcast that you sent me about China's credit score system, and they were saying how you won't be able, or you can't ride trains and shop at certain stores and buy certain items if your credit score is too low.
Mm-hmm. Which just sounds simply very, very, what is it? Not repulsing, but like, fuck, I can't speak anymore. Repressing.
Mm-hmm.
It seems, it
Mm-hmm.
is very, very repressing. That's like how the rich keep getting richer and the poor keep getting poorer. And then like they
Yeah,
have
it's a form of control. For
there's
sure.
this one company, like, because it was built for a company to have a credit score, but then they gave it so that citizens have a credit score.
Uh,
But the company does not judge, the company that judges everyone's credit score does not judge their own credit score,
that's weird.
right?
Yeah, I see how that could definitely be a very slippery slope because power corrupts too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, so I
Everyone
mean, if you
wants to
have
be in
that power,
power
then
until you're in power, and then you never want to lose the power that you power have. Socrates.
yeah. You stay quoting Socrates. I don't think these are real quotes. Are these real quotes?
Don't go on Goodreads.
Yeah. Are you sorry, was there anything else that you want to say?
No, no, I'm straight. I'm straight.
Was there do you ever watch any horror movies or thriller movies?
Um, the closest I watched is Black Mirror.
Huh. It's also kind of scary. We'll count that. Do you have a favorite episode?
Oh my God, it's not Death of a Nation. That is the coolest episode I have ever watched on the internet.
What happens?
So basically, there's these bees. Well, they it was like in London. It was in London. In London, they didn't have any like bees were extinct, right? So they created these mechanical bees, like these robot bees, to pollinate the earth.
Uh-huh.
But this hacker started taking over. Spoilers alert! Spoilers, spoilers.
Mm.
In case you haven't seen it. um, this hacker started taking over these the one like a bee, and it was attached to Twitter, and then you would do hashtag death to, and then at the end of the day, whoever had was like the most liked would die,
Whoa.
and like the bee would like fly up the nose and like just go straight to the pain sensor of the brain,
I gotta rewatch Black Mirror. That sounds intense.
right? So it's like this whole Twitter phenomenon where every day it was just like hashtag death too. So people would keep dying, and then you had these cops who were trying to stop it and figure out why, like who was doing this and why, and what's the target. So then at the main twist in the movie is, um, at the end of the day, they had the option to unplug the machine, like to unplug the problem or keep it going. And if you keep it, if you unplug the machine, it killed everyone who did a hashtag death too.
Mm.
So it turned out that it was like a massive genocide because everyone, the dude was pretty much resetting the country and taking out all the shitty people who would do something like hashtag death too.
Mm-hmm.
And keeping the sane people who were just like, yo, this is kind of fucked up. But like it was like
Right.
millions of people died in the end.
Yeah, it's weird how when stuff like that is happening, it's almost like you don't realize when it's happening in the moment. It's only in hindsight when you would call it something like a genocide. And I kind of felt that way with the whole Russia Ukraine thing too, where I don't know. I feel like learning about war in school, my mental image of what war looks like was a lot quicker than the way that it's playing out now. For some reason, I didn't really expect it to be such a slow process and like such a back and forth and things like that. So it just kind of opened my eyes to the fact that uh, you don't really quite realize what's happening while it's happening. And I think it was the same thing with the Rwandan genocide too, where people were just going around killing people with machetes. At first I kind of felt like it was just this thing that happened overnight. Where this is the day where we're gonna start doing this, and they all got together and started doing it, and that's all that's happening. When in reality, it was, like they kind of decided on a day, but it kind of became a gradual process. I don't know. It was different in my head than what it was in real life.
It was like months and years went by.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And then in hindsight, then you'd be like, oh, yeah, that's a genocide.
Yep. To go talk about war. As a kid, I don't know. I Call of Duty. I was like, yo, this shit's cool. And then the older I get, I'm like, yo, that shit's crazy. Do not draft me, Uncle Sam.
Yeah, you know what else is wild is that we kind of have video games circulating on the market that are simulating killing people. It's kind of strange, right?
Yeah. It's kind of like
it is fun. It's fun, but it's just strange.
It's like GTA. There's like Grand Theft Auto. You get points for killing people.
Yeah, yeah. You
like,
do.
What name can you think of? Like 3 GTA missions where your goal is just to drive down the street and pick up a package.
Yeah, I mean, literally, the whole point of Grand Theft Auto is to commit the most crime that you possibly can.
The most heinous, bloodiest, deadliest
Right.
shit that you can imagine.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that video games are the cause of the problem, but like it is kind of
Ban violent video games. That's what he's saying.
No, GTA was fun as fuck. GTA 5 was
Bro,
dope.
Saints Row went hard.
Yeah, oh, dude, Saints Row the Third. Yeah, that was dope. That was so dope.
Saints Row was crazy, bro.
Yeah, you could beat people with dildos and stuff. Big ass purple dildos. And like when you would run, they would shake too.
Yep.
Like, what the fuck am I playing?
Why did our parents let us play this game?
I know. But yeah, like and we just as humans we find this sort of enjoyment out of causing destruction.
It's weird. It is
super weird.
Humans are very interesting individuals. We're scary interesting.
Were there any games that you liked playing growing up?
What games? I played a lot of Call of Duty, Saints Row, GTA, and like I was like a racing game type of person. I could fuck up some Need for Speed.
Need for Speed was fun. I think I played Most Wanted.
Oh yeah.
That's the one that I got.
Yeah,
and Underground.
Need for Speed was like my game. And like just the soundtrack alone got me going.
Yeah. You see the new Forza Motorsport?
Nope. So far out of video games now that it's in one ear and out the other.
They look crazy realistic now.
Yeah.
It's crazy that that's a game. Yeah.
I kind of want to buy like a
ray tracing.
I kind of want to buy like a shitty car and make it a track day car, and start rallying on my free time.
You would do something like rallying. I can see you involved in that.
I just think it would be so cool, just like just killing time and just I don't know. It just seems fun.
Yeah, especially if you have an office job, that's a fun side hobby.
Right.
You have an office job, but Saturday, Sunday, you're rallying. Come on now.
What else do you have? What's next? What's your next topic?
Yeah, are you scared of your shadow self?
What the fuck is a shadow self?
Well, I feel like
I looked at my shadow.
No, I think it's pretty well known that all human beings are capable of evil. So,
Oh.
and you had mentioned that um, all human beings are insane to some degree. We
Mm-hmm.
all kind of have these qualities that either we don't like about ourselves or maybe aren't socially acceptable, and we repress those qualities.
Mm.
So do you ever acknowledge that side of yourself that could
Some
that could probably do some harm?
sometimes, yeah. I mean, like again, when I was playing lacrosse, I would pick out someone who I didn't like, and I would just like, okay, you're the person I'm gonna shit on for the next
Uh,
3 hours of my life.
that's a perfect example, actually. Keep going.
So I just all anger, frustration. It was towards him, but
Yeah.
it was like in the name of the game, you know. And then
Right.
also like working out. We kind of talked about this when we were on my balcony. But working out, like if I had like a really rough day, just expressing it like through the means of like lifting weights would get it
Yeah.
out.
Right.
But then I also feel like there's aspects where in your life, in your everyday life, where you have to like lean into the like your bad side. And like
I
bad
agree.
side is like the selfishness, the greediness, your not necessarily manipulativeness, but like your persuasiveness
Yeah.
to get what you want. Like if you're negotiating a raise, you're not gonna walk in and say, hey, please give me money.
Please.
No, you're
Pretty
gonna be like,
please.
this is what I have, this is what I'm offering, and this is what I'm gonna do after.
Yeah.
Like
So
everyone
being
needs,
able to tap into that dark side.
mm-hmm. Everyone needs to be like selfish to a degree.
Mm-hmm.
There's people who like take it way out of perspective, and they
Mm-hmm.
just become straight dickheads in society. But
Ted Bundy.
minus Ted Bundy, like Bezos, right? He's selfish. You cannot make a company like Amazon without being selfish. It's like it's
True.
impossible. But so like
And he's
arguably,
still going too.
yeah,
He has enough money, and
mm-hmm.
he just wants more money.
Which is arguably like one of the keys to success is just like get what you want and don't think about who you burn in your path, like to get there.
Mm-hmm.
And he's that guy. He is that guy. Does not mean that I want to be that guy, but he is for surely that guy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really good point. There are definitely some people who don't really just don't give a fuck about like you said, like who they burn in their path.
Mm-hmm.
They know that if they want something and they're looking to get it, that some bridges are going to be burned, and they have to be okay with burning those bridges.
Like I said,
But
the most depressed I get is when I'm trying to please people.
yeah,
And
I was also going to say though that some of those bridges are really big bridges.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There's also that aspect of it too.
Which you try not to burn bridges, but sometimes, I mean, like life is a game of chess, right? You're just we're just playing a game,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, how do you want to play? It's like definite and indefinite games. I was listening, not games, but like finishes or conclusions.
Mm-hmm.
I was listening to that that drunken shout out to, well, they don't make podcasts anymore, but if you guys ever are bored, look up Drunken Philosophy. They break down like a lot of philosophers and is it philosophical? Is that the word?
Philosophical, yeah.
Yeah, they break down a lot of philosophers and philosophical terms and people in like a very stupid, funny, half-baked way.
Shout out to Drunken Philosophy.
Shout out to Drunken Philosophy. They're on a hiatus right now, but it's becoming one of my most favorite podcasts. Anyway, so they were talking about game theory and how there's definite and indefinite solutions, and it's hard when you pick up a definite when it's definite and when it's definite versus indefinite. Those two don't go well together. Like that war is gonna go on forever. Like with the war in Ukraine, for example, um, the Ukrainians are fighting for their home. They
Yeah.
are they have a definite goal that they want, while Russia is just trying to take it over.
Mhm.
That is indefinite. So the Ukrainians are going to keep fighting until they get what they want. As where Russia, since Russia's in the invaders, they are going to have to care about the troops. When are the troops going to, like, the morale of the troops? Because they don't give a fuck about Ukraine. They're doing this because the government
Mhm.
sent them there. It's very
Yeah,
indefinite.
I just heard something pretty wild yesterday. I was listening to Jocko Willink. You know
Mm-hmm.
who he is? Um, he was talking about the Russia-Ukrainian war, and he said that one of the things that okay, so Russia came into Ukraine kind of expecting to pretty much curb stomp them,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the things that they didn't expect. This is what Jocko was saying. One of the things that they didn't expect is the psychological impact of having snipers, because apparently Ukraine has really good snipers, and Russia
Mm.
did not expect that. So when you're standing next to your buddy, and your buddy Ted, and your buddy Ted takes a snipe shot to the head and passes away, whatever post you're guarding, you then have to come back to that same post the next day,
Right?
knowing that there's a sniper that's looking to take you out like that, and like how much of an impact that can have on you. And then when you try and find out where that snipe shot came from, there's just all these buildings with these roofs and windows and different entry points. Like that sniper could be anywhere,
Yo,
bro.
poke
You
your
have
head
no
out.
idea where that sniper
Bro,
is.
I
Yeah,
wish.
you.
Bro, I was like playing Call of Duty. I follow some dude into a hall, and like he turns the corner. I see his body just start flying. I turn right the fuck around. I'm like, whatever's there, whatever's there. I don't. And that happens in real life, bro. Pass.
Yeah.
And then like my CO,
Yeah.
my CO. I just saw I had my buddy Kyle's blood on my face.
Yeah.
And then my boss is like, poke your head out to see where that shot came from. Like, bitch,
Yeah.
you poke your head out. I'm done.
Ooh.
I'm nah, pass. Shout out to the
Yeah,
people
hey.
who do it. You're stronger than me.
I was literally about to say support our troops, man, because they go through some shit to
You
keep
got
us safe.
poke my head. No, poke my head out to
Bro,
get shot.
You ever seen those traps from the Vietnam War
Oh my.
where they're like sharpening bamboo and like making pits out of them so that you fall through some leaves and get stabbed?
That's one of my fears too. Is like getting tortured.
Yeah.
I'm mass shooting, I'll medulla oblongata to anyone who wants to possibly shoot me. Just aim for that. Make it nice and easy for me, okay? Just
Yeah.
night and day.
I got something to go off that point. Quick timeout. I gotta blow my nose. Keep the people entertained.
One of the Viet Cong, or it might have been the Japanese, I don't know, but they made this torture technique where they would bamboo is very very resilient. That's so pause. Bamboo is very very resistant and resilient to change, and they would tie troops down like on their back and have the sticks of bamboo grow through their skin and through their
Did
body.
the mic pick it up?
Yeah, it was very disgusting.
Oh man, I was really hoping that it did.
Why is it so long? It started very long and very mucusy.
Yeah, I had a sinus infection this last week, so
How the fuck
and we've
do
been sitting here
people-
for 45 minutes and I haven't blown my nose. So there's a lot of buildup there.
How does one get a sinus infection?
Spring. You're talking about how much you hate spring, pollen. I think it's the pollen.
Is it a sinus infection or is it just allergies? Cause I got allergies. I ain't got no infection in me.
When you blow your nose, is it green or is it clear?
Clear.
When it's green, you have a sinus infection.
So just because I have green boogers is instantly a sinus infection?
No, this is at least what my mom was telling me growing up. But when you blow your nose and there's just all this green snot in there, that's usually a sinus infection.
I remember when your mom told you that you had like 5 blues.
Why you bringing that up, man? Don't remind me. That was traumatizing.
That was so funny.
For those who don't know, Blue is the name of my fish that I had. Blue, shut up. I had a fish that I thought that I had for a long time. His name was Blue, and I guess there was multiple of those.
Your face was just like.
Whatever. I totally forgot what I was even gonna say. I was gonna bring something up. We're talking about what were we talking about? War.
What a hoot.
Yeah. Whatever. I lost it.
Yeah. What is it good for? Nothing.
Support our troops. You were there. Yeah, it's gone. How do you overcome fear?
I get sponsored by Nike and just do it.
Nice.
I don't know. I told you this year one of my goals is to base jump, and I'm deathly afraid of base jumping. I'll tell you why I'm deathly afraid of base jumping. Cause like with skydiving, you have an extra chute if something goes wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And if you pass out, your chute automatically deploys. Base jumping, I'm jumping off what? A gorge? That's like 2,000 feet. It's 2,000 feet deep or high. And then like, my thing with base jumping is like, how am I supposed to get back up? I mean like, I'm down to jump, right? But you're telling me now I'm supposed to dingle for like what, 15, 20 minutes as you pull me up off the cliff? No.
Right. Are you attached to a cord or anything when you base jump?
Yeah. Well, no, bungee jump. That's what I'm thinking of. Bungee jumping. Yeah. And like there's videos on the internet of the bungee jumping cord snaps.
Yeah, I've seen those before.
Pass.
No bueno.
Pass.
I went down a rabbit hole once with roller coasters, like roller coaster accidents.
Mm-hmm.
It's really hard for me to go to Six Flags anymore after that.
My thing with you remember the movie Shark Boy and Lava Girl?
Yeah. Of course.
So there's a scene. What?
What?
Did you say something?
No.
Okay, that was weird. But there's a movie in Shark Boy and Lava. There's a movie in Shark Boy and Lava Girl where these kids, they're in like this endless time loop on a roller coaster, and then they get like to the finish. They're trying to get out, but then they can't get out, and then the roller coaster starts again. And I'm like, I'm good. To go along with this whole mass shooter thing, my brain just completely disasterifies it and says, what if the mass shooter comes, is the 16-year-old who's supposed to press the let me go button going to stay until my ride is complete?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know, man.
That scares me.
Yeah. You ever watch that episode of SpongeBob where they try and ride the fiery fisto pane?
Oh, and they keep like bitching out?
Yeah. And then they ride the mitten instead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm one of those.
What are you gonna do if are you afraid of roller coasters?
Not afraid, but I definitely think about whenever I'm about to get on one, I just think about all the things that could possibly go wrong.
Right.
And then it always works out in the end, yeah.
The last time I went on a roller coaster was with you and Rachel, and her sister.
Really? Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
I forgot
like,
that we did that.
that was the last time. Mm-hmm.
I've been on several since.
Literally just remembered.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, no, I went to. I told you that I went to Disney when I was 18. I just went to Universal Studios at the beginning of this year. And then I've probably been to Six Flags maybe like once or twice since then. So yeah, and then, I really want to go to Busch Gardens. So you have to go there.
Oh, that's in Virginia.
Yeah, I think there's one in Georgia too.
Oh, really? When I was in Norfolk, we were supposed to go, but
yeah,
no, I want to go to Cedar Point.
I've heard that that's fun too. I think they're both better than Six Flags. I think Six Flags is the bottom tier of those three.
Six Flags is the only amusement park that I've ever been to.
Yeah. Oh, you know what else I rode when I was in Florida is I rode the slingshot.
What's that?
That thing that it's this thing where it pretty much slingshots you and fires you straight up into the air. It's really high.
You did one of those?
You've probably seen videos of people freaking the fuck out on them and passing out. Yeah, I rode that. That was crazy.
You won't catch me doing that? Are you kidding me?
I got talked into it.
Dude, that's the problem with me, man. You can call me a bitch, call me a pussy, loser, any name under the sun. Call me it. And once you start calling me these words, I'm like, oh, I won't do this out of principle at this point. You cannot talk me into doing something I don't want to do.
Yeah, there was a ride next to it that looked even more scary than the slingshot. I don't know if I could be talked into that one. That was fun. I forget what it was called.
To go into my dark side, I have a tendency to talk people into doing things that I don't want to do, and I just want them to do it to see if I truly don't want to do it or not.
I have seen you do that before.
It's not the greatest trait, but it does happen. There's a tendency for me to do it.
Hey man, you need someone to test the waters.
Right. It's like when I go cliff jumping, right? Everyone's nervous to jump off a cliff. I'm not jumping first. I need 3 people to jump in front of me before I jump, so I can average it out to where I think I should land.
Throwback to Total Drama Island. Did you ever watch that?
Oh my god, dude! I just started watching it again. It's fucking hilarious.
Really? I did go back and rewatch it on Netflix, but yeah, episode 1, I think that was their challenge, was they had to jump off of the cliff.
What a show! 2023, that show would get canceled so fast.
Oh yeah. That was definitely one of the shows that defined not defined it. It came around in like 2007. So I mean, we were like 8 years old, going up in the 2000s. Yep. Shit. That's definitely one of the shows that stands out. It's like, yeah, that show was really good. And then they came out with like 5 different sequels.
Yup. And then like literally started off with how they want to do stupid challenges to get cheesy tabloid fame.
Yeah, exactly. They had Total Drama Island, Total Drama Action.
Oh, literally.
Oh yeah, we were talking about overcoming fear. I think I got an important lesson from this podcast I listened to called Modern Wisdom. If you don't listen to that, I highly recommend it.
Shout
Definitely one of my favorite podcasts. Yeah, Chris Williamson, for sure. If not my favorite podcast, easily top 3 favorite podcasts.
Top 3 favorite podcasts, Modern Wisdom. Shout out.
Yeah, he brings up a lesson that he had learned from someone else. He had a guest on the show. I forget who the guest was, but I feel like overcoming fear takes bravery, and the lesson that he had taught the listeners from one of the guests that he had talked to was that you can't fake bravery, because the act of faking bravery is by definition bravery. So if you ever need to overcome fear, you could try and fake bravery to overcome the fear, and then after you're done with it, you even doing that was bravery. So, look at the problems that you have in your life, face them. Stop turning away from them. Stop neglecting them. Stop ignoring them. Turn around, face them, and try and solve them head on. And that's hard to do sometimes for all of us, but it can be done.
That goes along with this book I read I'm reading. It's called, I read Radical Honesty. And it pretty much says, like, just be honest with yourself and everyone who you're around. That's around you and the things that you have to do. And, like, if you're avoiding something, acknowledge that you're avoiding it and then do it. And I guess it really starts at a very smaller level in your life, too. Just everything, like, every little thing that you do. It's like, floors are dirty. Mop them. Just mop them. Just get it over with. And it just goes up to bigger things, like working out, right? You can sit on the bench, like after you bench press or like you squat, you're fucking exhausted. You need to do another set. You can just keep sitting on your bench and like twiddle your thumbs, or you can just do it. Like it really just goes down to just being able to like say, fuck it, I'm just gonna do it.
Throwback.
That was an homage.
Yeah. Jordan Peterson has a similar lesson in his book. Oh, sorry. What were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say what I do is I count to 3, and on number 3 I jump. No matter, it just works for me. Mm-hmm. I guess that's how.
Yeah, Jocko talks about having a override button in your mind. Where if you, it's kind of like you said, count to 3 and then just do it. Just hit the override button. Even though your body doesn't want to do it, even though you're feeling really lazy-minded, when you hit 3, you got to override all those feelings and just do it.
Yeah, and then like the more you do it, the easier it becomes.
Yeah.
And what I do, what is it? What is it when you say like when you write down in your journal? You say, like, you are beautiful and kind and loved.
Oh, man. There is a word for it. I can't remember the word.
I don't know. Affirmation, that's it.
Yeah, there we go. Yep.
I started running for cardio. And instead of saying, all right, try to make it to the 30-minute mark, I say, I'm going to make it to the 30-minute mark. And not give me the excuse of saying, like, well, I tried. It's I'm going to.
Right.
Make it definite.
Yeah, I wanted to bring it back to what you were saying about telling the truth, too. Jordan Peterson had a lesson in his book. It was one of the chapters of 12 Rules for Life. I think it was Don't Lie. And pretty much, when you're telling lies, it kind of takes a lot more mental energy to keep up those lies than if you had just told the truth in the first place. You don't really have to think about trying to save face for anybody.
Christian is a dirty little liar.
Exactly.
That's what he's
Stop
saying
being a dirty little liar. So I felt that as well.
Yeah, no, it's honesty goes a long way. Honesty does go a long way. I don't have anything else. You don't have anything else.
No, that's everything.
No? You wanna wanna plug anything?
Yeah, we're gonna get the Twitter running. Star 67, and the 67 is in Roman numerals. That's gonna be LXVII. Follow us there. YouTube channel is star the word 6, right?
60
or 60, and then VII on our YouTube. Follow us there as well. And you're probably listening to this one on Spotify already. Yeah, that's where we're at now. Anything you got to plug?
Yeah, T Money is going to link the YouTube in the show notes. Also, he'll put our socials on there as well, and just follow us, comment, like, subscribe. You don't have to do any of that stuff. It doesn't matter. Spread the word.
Nope, do it all.
The first the number 5. I'm just talking with you guys. Yeah, thank you for coming.
Yeah. All right. Peace out.